I like to sing, dance, pretend, and I like to have fun.
Someone was suspected of being responsible, but it was all hushed up.
Hello, party people. Jake Belcher here, as always, on Grand Theft Audio on Zena.tv, the name that shall stand the test of time.
The test of time.
As always, I've got my best friend in studio with me.
Brant Thoman.
You can't see him because he, unlike you, is a working man and is at work right now producing a show. So I don't know what you're doing that you just get to gallivant around and watch television, but Brant is like literally clocked in right now making money. So shame on you and hooray for Brant. You know what I'm saying?
Hooray for me indeed.
Yeah. Hooray for Brant. I mean, I'm a big fan of that. So good job, man.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so while we're talking like a kind of business and work and stuff, we are here on Zena.tv. I've watched every other show that is produced here this week, and I got to say this. You people are all fucking lunatics. Every single one of you. Every show had a moment where they're like afraid of Donald Trump and what's going to happen and how he's going to like take this from me or he's taking that right away from this group of people. It's fear-mongering, and you people are being duped by bullshit. Every one of you that's like, oh, his Russian connections and we need to check that out. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, you are being deceived by the mainstream media, and I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, I don't often use the word ashamed, but I'm somewhat ashamed of being associated with some of you people that have just sucked that giant corporate cock's lie and saying that like Donald Trump is a Russian agent. That's lunacy. Like we're gonna see more and more truth come out, and it's insane to me. So it's insane to me. Yeah, that's what I want to start off saying with. But we do have other things going on here today.
Yeah. And on that bright note,
okay, Brad, you watch these shows.
Sure.
Do any of them? Does any show have anything positive at all to say about Donald Trump?
Well, see, that's the thing is I don't tune into Fox News.
No. I'm saying the shows here at Zena.tv.
Oh, here.
You watch all these shows that are produced here.
You know what?
Any show say any one sentence a week that's even halfway positive about our president?
No, but at the same time, there are shows that don't mention it, or if it's mentioned, it really isn't like focused on.
Okay, I've seen it get mentioned, and they all go, okay, let's talk about something else. Like it's like they can't deal with just the idea that he even exists and
that he is our president.
Yeah,
yes.
It's sad to me, people. You need to wake up and like learn that the media is designed to trick you. The media wants to keep the world pretty much exactly like it is right now. Like they all work for big corporations that are super happy to just be making billions and billions and billions of dollars off you all the time, and they have no like reason to upset the apple cart and to have things be better for you. That's not in their like agenda. And Donald Trump wants that stuff for you. So they have all the stuff that's just lies and made up bullshit. So like you gotta just go. Oh, what's happening? What's happening? I need to wake up from this media and not just be anybody who says to me that we have to watch out for his ties to Russia. It's the equivalent to me. It's the equivalent to me of somebody who's wearing a Raiders jersey. Like you are just like a dumb moron who I instantly know I don't have to respect anything else that you say, because if you're willing to like buy into this bullshit, you'll buy into that bullshit. I don't know how things compare and always work on my head, but I will say, as soon as you say it to me, I can just ignore anything else you had to say because I know that it's horseshit and hooey.
All right.
I have to agree with your Raiders jersey comparison at least.
Sure, you can't trust it. Okay, let me join Scott Gerhardt. How you doing, man?
Hey, good.
Nice to see you.
Good seeing you.
Scott is a multi-time guest here on Grand Theft Audio. He has many different ventures, Gamers Dome, a lot of Pokemon Go.
Been doing a lot of Pokemon Go.
Sure.
We're relaunching the Masked Dome, which is our wrestling site.
Oh,
So
cool, man.
going to be doing a big prediction article about WrestleMania on that one. I know we're going to hit that later.
Sure, we're going to talk about that in segment 2. We're going to talk about WrestleMania and what's going
Probably
on.
2 and 3.
But yeah, you can't trust anybody in a Raiders jersey.
No,
I mean, that's
or maybe something even looks like one.
sure.
Yeah,
I
I
did
did
the
a-
colors going.
I did a double take.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Is he wearing the silver and black? No, that's his
Not
chain
silver and
gang.
black, but a different silver and black.
Right.
It's funny because you talk about everyone groaning about Trump. The truth is do I groan? Yeah, I groan, but I'd probably be groaning every bit as much with the pro-Hillary stuff too. So,
Oh.
I'm just ashamed of the political environment that we have in general right now. Like the fact that this election was the best we could come up with, and like where we are.
Sad.
I mean, we have straight Republicans,
See,
and they can't even garner enough support for their own stuff at this
The
point.
thing I hate the most right now is that whenever when everyone tries to mention Hillary's talking about running again already,
my
and it's
God.
like, you know what? We just got over this. I'm so sick of it, and why?
No-
That's
no
a
one- no one's
4-year
gotten-
fucking campaign.
If
that
she
could
couldn't
run right
beat
now.
Trump, she's not going to beat anyone else. So
Right,
damn,
she's
get
not-
somebody else.
And it's going to be Trump again. And Trump's going to be our president because he's actually doing really good things, but the media is just refusing to report it. I know it's a very sticky situation because
I think Trump would do a lot better if someone would just take the phone out of his hands and make him stop
I think
Twitter.
those things
because
are
that's not the
helpful.
media. That's Trump actually posting out stuff. And I agree, I actually agree with you. I think the media is a bit too hard on him, and they do blow stuff out of proportion. But the stuff that actually comes from his Twitter account makes him
it's
makes him
usually
seem like a
proven
bully.
to be true. I mean, this whole tweet where he came out and he said that he can't believe that he was wiretapped by Obama and that it's sad. Well, it's true. I mean, you had a couple of congressmen come forward this week and say, "I've seen the reports with his names written on them that say wiretapped." I mean, like, you can have CNN say it's lies, it's lies, it's lies as
But-
long as you want.
But where is Obama's name on that? Because the administration, because the Department of Justice under his watch.
Sure, they'll just
was-
follow. They'll just follow it right back up the chain. I mean, it's there and it exists. Like, there's a FBI and police people that have come out and said how they got this information, how it really came through a request from Obama to the English version of the FBI, so there would be no record of it here in America. And this stuff is out there, but the mainstream media refuses to talk about it. You refuse to talk about that. You refuse to talk about all the great work that Donald Trump is doing by busting pedophile rings all across the country. Like, if you are a little kid who's locked up in a cage getting fucked tonight, you've never had a better chance of being saved than you do right now by having Donald Trump as our president, like actually making arrests for these things. Like, this is literally happening all the time, but our media just refuses to talk about it. So we're in some crazy times. Look, this is crazy times. Okay, I'm going to change the subject, but it is kind of on the same subject. Crazy times. What the fuck is going on in sports? Like, has anybody paid attention to what's happening in women's sports? There are record after record after record getting dominated, just getting blown past. Like at the weightlifting championships last week, the previous all-around record was like
World records you're talking
world
about?
record.
Okay, thank
was
you.
like 296 kilograms. Like when you combine like the three different types of lifts, like the most that a woman had ever put up before. But last week it was like 340, like an amazing jump ahead. There also was a volleyball team that is now just like spiking over the top ropes, and like it's like they're dunking in their faces and rubbing their balls in these other bitches' faces. Why do I say they're rubbing their balls? Because they're fucking men. Because our goddamn society has become so pussified that we have to say that, oh, as long as you consider yourself a woman, now you can start and you can compete in these sports. So we're just saying, come in here, men, take these women hormones for like 6 months, and we'll call you a woman now, and we'll let you come in and and compete with us.
I'm totally lost on this one. Is
this is legit happening.
Like,
man.
these are legitimate
Yes.
people who are transgender who were
Yes, and people who are, and these are like Olympic trials now. because like the Olympics have decided that literally as long as you take, I think it's actually 1 year, as long as you take a woman's hormone for a year and consider yourself a woman, that's it. You don't have to chop any dick off. You don't have to get fake titties put on. You don't have to do anything, man. You can just say you feel like a woman and take a couple pills, and all of a sudden, maybe you were good at men's sports before. I mean, not good enough to make a national team. But
I mean, I'm fine with the general movement towards transgender, and if you're a woman, if you think you're a woman, you're a woman. But there is a line,
Okay, look,
and that line is at sports.
it's called
right there.
science fiction. I mean, like, there's a difference between science fiction and fact. Like, imagine you're a little girl and you've grown up your whole life to do these things, and you've targeted 2017 is going to be my year. Like, I only have a couple more years where I can have kids, so this will be the last time that I can put myself through this type of training, and this is going to be it, and I'm going to get up there and I'm going to poke the shit out of that iron. And then, like, you look over and there's like a dude, a lady with hairy legs and testicles, and it's just, it seems unfair. Why do we have to believe someone else's fantasy of what the world is?
Well, I mean, I've always said I have no problem with the fact of men and women being equal. Only like men can't give birth, and men are genetically
women are wizards.
Yeah, genetically are just built to be stronger and faster. I mean, it's on the average, it's going to be that way. So you do have to draw a line somewhere, and sports is kind of a place where you really should be like you can be a woman everywhere except here, and you need to be a man if you want to be here. And I get that. I mean, maybe if you've got going the other direction, it wouldn't be so horrible if the women want to try to compete over the guys.
But they're allowed to. There's nothing that says like the NBA is only for women. Or only for men. If there were women who were good enough, they would be there.
I actually don't think physically it's possible to bulk up
Right.
without it being altered, like not genetically, but altering it through other substances. Like they can take the male hormones all they want. They can continue to make muscle, but their growth spurts limited them at a certain point at a certain age.
Yeah.
So, they can't, like, if they decided this at the age of 11 that they were going to start taking female hormones and then grow into it, that's years that there's stunting that goes on. I mean, you take on more of a feminine look to your body. You're not going to be able to be this massive man. So
I get the idea
it's just
that
not possible to make a woman that much stronger without having to do it with like steroids.
Yeah.
I get the idea that from 11 taking those things would possibly balance it out a little bit more, so there's on the athletic field it's a little fairer because he doesn't go through his teenage years of maybe bulking up with quite as much testosterone in him. But like these people who
I was thinking the other way around, with girls having to take male hormones.
Oh, sure.
So that as they work out, they would grow.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
See, that's okay. Yeah. See,
Maybe.
you see what I mean?
Yeah, it wouldn't
'cause
they wouldn't be able to get there.
Before puberty occurs, you'd be able to alter that by changing the hormonal balance of the body, and so it would go, oh, I'm supposed to grow bigger. I'm
honestly,
a boy.
If your 11-year-old comes up to you and says, "Daddy Brant, I'm actually a boy, and I'm like 11 years old, and I want you to start giving me like a whole bunch of men testosterone things."
You better
so
hope you're not in Alabama when that happens.
So I can be better. Do you believe your 11-year-old? Like, yeah, this kid's got it figured out. Like they definitely know like that. Like he knows he's not really a girl.
I'm trading him on Barbies for Hot Wheels right now.
Sure. I mean, Brent, would you buy into that and say yes?
No,
son
not
daughter?
at that age.
What age do you think you would?
I don't think it's until you're in your teenage years that you start to have that kind of suspicion.
But they're making cases now where there's 5-year-olds.
I know. I hear it.
You know?
I've seen those ridiculous reports.
I mean,
and I don't believe them.
I don't believe it either.
I mean, unless you can genetically show me that this was actually, there's more female genes,
Yes.
but it came out of a male body or vice versa.
Yes.
Fine. That's at the genetic level. That is the berry-based science that we base everything on. So fine. But beyond that, no. Not until you're in your teenage years that you would start to suspect where you were going.
You have to be old enough to actually establish a proper thought process to understand what it means to be male, what it means to be female, and to totally understand your gender. Where I agree with you, genetically, if you can show it's one versus the other, okay, that's fine. But if it's just how do I feel, I'm thinking 15, 16-ish at least minimum before you.
Are
could
you
even,
buying them meds at 15 or 16?
No.
I mean,
No. I'm just saying as far as like
and honestly now
starting to come up with enough cognitive process as to like what gender role should be and whether or not you feel like you should be one or the other.
Sure. Okay, look, I'm going to just put 30 seconds into the last thing. We're going to go to our commercial break because we pushed this segment way too long. I don't even think we're going to get a chance to talk about it. But here's the new fucked up thing, okay? Now there is like advertisements that are telling white parents not to read to their children because you are giving them too much of an advantage. So, like, you used to see those ads where they're like, oh, read to your kids because every word counts and sing with them and, like, it's going to build them up into better people. But they're now target advertising to white people saying, don't unfairly advantage your children. So, you know, be a man, go dunk on women, don't read to your children, and just believe all the bullshit lies that the corporate media feeds you every day. If you think everything's going fine right now, just keep on doing that.
Riding down the highway, going to a show, stopping on the byway, playing rock and roll, getting out, getting stoned, getting beat up, rock and roll.
You've been left on your own like a rainbow in the dark. A rainbow in the dark. Do your demons, do they ever let you go? When you try, do they hide deep inside? Is it someone that you know?
I cannot put my finger on it now. The child is grown, the dream is gone. I have become comfortably numb.
Well, hello again, party people. This is Jake Belcher on Grand Theft Audio. Hey, I want to put my hands on top of these things and say these people hooked me up this week. This is Mondo. Mondo is a low-dosage marijuana, cannabis additive. So, like, you can put it on anything. They say put it on your salad, put it on your yogurt parfait. So you can tell that this product was made for people who are, like, fancy.
It makes me think of actually, like, if you ever had a Jumbo Juice with where you get the boost where they throw
Sure.
in it's an additive like that
Sure.
has cannabinoids in it, so it's good for you too.
Yeah, it's coconut oil and cannabis, and it's these tiny little pre-measured 5 milligram scoops. So it's for people who, you say, oh, I'm going to eat that brownie, and then that brownie was way too much, man. So this gives you little dosages of it, and it's, for people who are concerned with how much they intake. Also, we have these here. This makes you go, yum, 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 yum. It's a Sprig. It is a cannabis soda, and I was supposed to pop one off the back and go and open it up and go, but then I forgot, and I actually did that. So there's actually not one on the back right now, but from the front, that looks like a full pack, baby. So we're just gonna pretend that I did that because I'm supposed to do this one more time and. Like, like I'll edit it together someday in the future, and no one will ever be able to tell, except for you people who know I didn't actually drink it today. But check it out. That's Sprig, the cannabis soda, and Mondo, the cannabis crumble. I think it's a crumble. It kind of gets mixed in there. So check them out, guys. All right. So we're not going to talk politics or
No more.
gender rights or any of those things for at least the rest of the segment, because we're going to talk about WrestleMania. But I can see you right now.
No.
Yeah, John Cena
Sorry.
does that. You can't see me, and I don't know who that's ever fooled.
Yeah, no.
You know, you must have been a John Cena fan with your jersey there.
I was. I've always kind of been a bit of a Cena mark. I'm a mark for anybody who you can tell truly loves the business
Sure.
and has been there like since they were a little fan and they've grown up, and you can just tell like they've been doing it for 15 years and they still love it every bit as much today as they did when they first came in 15 years ago.
Sure, that
So-
goes a long way, and you can tell right now that the guy who really is main eventing this year's WrestleMania has zero of that. I mean, none. Okay, so let's work our way down the card, man. It's a real mixed bag card to me. It has so many matches on it. The actual event, I think, is 6 hours long. So
Is it?
6 hours long?
Well,
man.
with you're talking with the pre-show stuff.
Yes, but
that
the
they
pre-show
do.
has 2 matches on it.
Yes.
So I mean, like, it's not like there's not, and those matches, one of them is probably, well, I may be looking forward to it the most.
Yeah, it's actually one of them. Are you referring
Okay,
to the cruiserweight
well, okay,
one?
let's-
yeah,
let's-
you know, that
that's gonna be a good
cruise-
match.
Let's get on with it.
Okay,
then.
so-
I want to hear what your
Okay,
thoughts.
so
You guys are
biggest-
both anxious to talk
Sure.
about that one. Let's go.
Okay, well, we're going to start at the top of the card.
the very top of the
Brock
card.
Lesnar versus Goldberg. This match happened in, I guess, 14 years ago at WrestleMania 19, when the two of them were, was
20.
it 20? 20, okay. When the two of them, legendarily, it came out that they were both done with the company after this match. And it was a beautiful moment of the fans turning against the wrestlers. They booed the shit out of them all night long, whether they were doing good things or bad things, and it was great.
And it was still the best match that they've had.
Sure, it was awesome, man. Because what they've done since they brought Goldberg back is they put him in these 1.5-minute long matches where he doesn't do anything because he can't wrestle anymore. He's the guy I was referring to that has zero passion for the business. This guy is, even though he's the champion right now, he's out doing the media rounds and he's saying things like, "I'm miserable on this run. That I'm so tired and my body hurts so much, like it's not worth it to him. If my kids weren't getting to see me do this, I wouldn't be doing it."
Oh yeah.
Well, then who the fuck wants to see you do that? I'm not your kid. I mean, I don't give a shit about him.
I thought that's what the original little stint was, that he was only coming in for a short
Yes,
amount of
to
time,
show my boy.
show his boy, maybe win a championship, lose the championship, and then bow out gracefully.
Cha-ching.
But-
money,
Oh,
money,
sure.
money.
But wait, was that match that big? What did he really make?
Apparently,
is
okay,
he
so I read-
profitable to the WWE?
Apparently, like, they made enough money off of it, and they gave him a bonus that day, and he bought like a Corvette on the way home with the bonus, just because he'd earned it from working so hard for like a 67-second match.
Right.
The whole thing's disgusting.
And the funny thing was, after the match, we learned like basically the reason it was so short was because he was completely unprepared.
Sure,
like not even ready at all.
They call it blown up. It means that you're too tired to be able to move around
Yeah.
the ring and make it look good. And that's he's because he's not a wrestler, man.
But he never has been. That's always been the knock
Sure.
on him, is that he couldn't do a match of more than like 3 or 4
But
minutes.
at least back then, he could put on a somewhat entertaining 3 or 4 minutes in a row. Now he can only put on about 10 seconds at a time, and then he's got to take a break, and it's sad. Now, this is half of the scenario that happened in their last WrestleMania match, is it's pretty well understood that Goldberg is done with the WWE after this. His contract is over. He's now, had the time where he makes his boy happy, and so I say 100% Brock Lesnar is going to win this match.
I've got it. I'm talking about predictions on the Masked Dome right here at the end. Brock Lesnar wins via pinfall. I think it's going to be a clean F5 right in the middle.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's no way. If Goldberg wins, I riot. That's all I say.
It'll be a very, very poor response. Okay, so there's another championship match. This is the WWE title. This is a weird storyline, the way it all came together this year. There was more crosses and double turns and just a bunch of nonsense for no reason at all to get to a match that nobody really gives a shit about. We have Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. Now, this is our second match in, and we're already at 3 real long-time veterans, as Bray Wyatt's our first younger wrestler going up against a much more established veteran in Randy Orton. And I think there's no way Randy Orton wins this. Like, if they decide to pull this push out of Bray, the rest of his career is just dead. He just is going to look like somebody that can never get something done on the big stage.
Okay, while I don't necessarily agree with that, I feel like just about anybody can lose to Randy Orton and be fine. I agree with you. I don't think he's going to. I went out on a limb here. I think it's gonna like resemble an Undertaker match with some supernatural crap going
That's
down.
possible.
And I've pulled a weird prediction out of my head on this one. I say Bray Wyatt wins via countout.
Okay.
And there's going to be something weird that happens to Randy that causes him to be out of the ring and not be able to get back in. I don't know what. I'm just kind of going out on a limb, but I agree with you. I don't think Randy wins this match.
So I think that the chances are pretty high that we'll have some other Wyatt family interference, whether that's a returning
Eric Rowan, yeah.
or maybe, oh no, this is the real Sister Abigail who dies and comes back, and the whole thing's just
something weird's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
Not sure what, but yeah, I agree with you. I think Bray Wyatt comes out of this still with the title.
Sure. Next big match is the Raw Women's Title Elimination match. This I wish they could just build it up into 2 people going against each other and have a compelling storyline for the 2 people. But instead, this way, they have to kind of build everybody up into equals. So they've been doing this whole thing for the last 3 months where, I beat the 2 of them, then the 2 of them beat these 2, then 2 of them beat these 2, and the whole thing is like everybody's even. Like Sasha Banks is even, Nia Jax is even, Bayley's even, Charlotte's even. But look at them. Leave that up on screen for a second.
I mean, Nia Jax is 2/5 of the match.
She's so big, man. It is unrealistic.
Is that the one in the purple?
Yes.
Okay.
She's one of the few women that they actually announce her weight.
Yeah.
Like 278 pounds or something like that.
Is this one of those dudes that has been on the
weightlifting?
I mean, that's
on the
I get
the
what
women's stuff?
I get
for
what
a
you're
couple
saying,
months?
but no, like she's legitimately a woman, and she has, had the curse of the curse since she was probably 12 years old. So like she's a real girl. She's just bigger than the rest of them. But you have this little girl in there, Bayley, who's like a child, and they expect her to do these suplexes with her and everything.
Is she the one with the sunglasses on her head?
Yeah.
Just so I know.
Well,
No,
no,
that's Sasha.
I think
the one that's actually got the belt over
yeah,
her
the
shoulder.
one with the belt. Like she's so little.
But what's funny is she's actually, if you put her and Sasha like right next to each other, she actually dwarfs Sasha. Sasha's really small, and I mean she's a little smaller than Charlotte, but she seems small because they have the very girlish look on her.
Sasha is very, I think, very valuable to the company.
I think she's got a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut to the. I think Charlotte's going to get her 5th title here.
I hope so.
I think they're going to knock Nia Jax out real fast. They're basically all going to
That'd be
team
nice.
up on her. Something's going to go down with Bayley and Sasha, and whoever's standing after that, Charlotte's going to take advantage
I think
of.
Charlotte's like the most well-rounded, best female performer that I've personally
She's
watched.
unbelievable.
Her connection to the audience, the way she talks and gets people to actually give a shit about what she's saying is unsurpassed in women's wrestling.
She's an insanely good face and insanely good heel. She can do whatever she wants.
My only criticism of her is I wish that she would kayfabe her life up a little bit because her Instagram is a little bit ridiculous. She's so mean in the ring, and then when you see what she's doing in real life, everything's like, I'm always with a little child, or I've got a unicorn on my back. Like it's a little too gentle for as ruthless of a person as she portrays on television.
I've caught that a little bit with Kevin Owens' Twitter and things like that before too. But yeah,
Sure.
I get that. I get where you're going with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do one more match, then we're gonna go to break because I want to finish up. Actually,
Hey.
2. Okay, no, we got to go to break. We're gonna go to break, and then we're gonna come back, and we're gonna look at the next layer down of the championships: the United States match, the Intercontinental, the tag teams, and those. So I know this is riveting.
I start. Hi, I'm Moxie.
And I'm Nicole, and we're the ladies of Suicide Girls Radio, the world's leading BYOB radio show. Pour a glass of your favorite tipple and tune in on Wednesday nights between 8 and 9 p.m. as we discuss life, liberty, and the pursuit of free nipples. Oh, just flash it would be kind of funny, wouldn't it? People think flashing your tits is easy, right? And it's actually kind of hard.
And it's Mary Carey, of course, politically naughty with Mary Carey.
I'm always naughty. I'm always politically. My behavior is always politically
naughty.
I'm never politically correct.
Dr.
Dr.
Drew.
Hi. Oh, I'm so.
Hey guys, how are
It's
you?
all teary-eyed, Doctor.
I know. She wished she could live at rehab.
But only if Dr. Drew's there. Obviously,
Sure.
if someone like, you know, because a little too groping might be inappropriate. But I like the flirting and stuff.
When I walked in, you shoved my head in your.
No! Are you gonna sue me?
Get politically naughty with Mary Carey. Mondays at 4 p.m.
Now, do you people remember earlier when I said, hello, party people? Because I do. It was a very special moment. Very special.
Reminiscing on those times.
We should all just sit here and stroke our chins and think about it, because it was nice. We're back here, though, on Grand Theft Audio on Xeno.tv, the name that'll stand the test of time. My name's Jake Belcher. Test of time.
Test of time.
Brant Thoman.
Scott Gerhardt.
And we're Wrestlemania. So we've talked about the big championships. Let's talk about the next level down. We have the United States title. This match, I'm actually really looking forward to it. It's probably my favorite last generation wrestler versus my favorite this generation wrestler. Long-term fans know that I used to go to these PWG matches all the time, and that gentleman with the KO on his shirt was this guy I'd come in here and talk about Mr. Wrestling, Kevin Steen.
Kevin Steen.
Well, now he's made his way up here to the WWE, and he has a big match at WrestleMania against Chris Jericho, one of the great shit talkers of all time. And if you know me, you know I love the shit talking.
Yep.
Jericho and Owens. Cheer him on, man.
It's wonderful.
Honestly, growing up with Jake, because we were both big fans of the WWF and then now with the E. But when Jericho came out, Jake was just like this. That was the first time I'd ever seen him be like we all loved the big names, but that was a name that was up and coming, and we kind of watched him grow, and it was just like, this guy is.
Yeah,
Jake just fell in love with him.
I remember watching him through WCW, and then when he debuted on SmackDown,
Oh, man.
like verbally confront The
With
Rock.
The Rock, that was great.
insane.
That was great. I loved him way before then when he was actually in Calgary before. Like I've always been like a guy who's found obscure wrestling, and just watching him come up as the Lionheart was great.
Didn't you go and see his band Fozzy play?
I did, because
did.
I'm a goddamn mark, okay? I'm a mark. I'll admit it.
Great.
You'll make my money.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Sure, man. I've gone to see Mick Foley do stand-up comedy. Like I'll go see a wrestler do anything. Like I'm an idiot like that.
Baron Corbin's new cooking show.
But I think this, I'd be interested in that. But I think this is going to be a fun match. Again, I think this is a real easy match to call, though. I think Jericho wins it. Like, I don't see what the value. I'm sorry. I think Owens wins it 100%. I don't see any value in having Jericho hold on to his championship here.
I'm a big Jericho mark. I'm actually really with you on both of these two. It's probably one of my favorite old school, one of my favorite new school guys. Part of me inside really wants to see Jericho hold on to the title, and then the rest of me knows it's just not going to happen.
Sure, I mean,
it's time to pass the torch.
It is.
Okay,
one of those kind of matches.
But Jericho does that all the time. He laid down for one of the worst gimmicks of all time. This Fandango. Fandango, who was like a ballroom dancer character, and it was embarrassingly bad. I love Johnny Curtis. He's back in the WWE right now. He's part of a great thing that came out about 2 weeks ago called Southpaw Regional Wrestling. It is a WWE produced. I guess it's kind of like Saturday Night Live, but they're not talking about it at all. You can only find it on their YouTube channel right now. Southpaw Regional Wrestling. It's incredible. John Cena's great on it. Okay, next title match. We have the WWE Intercontinental title. Now, this belt in particular It's my favorite belt of
Mine
all time.
too. I think it always has been. It's always there's been such iconic, great.
It has a special
wrestlers.
luster to it.
Yeah.
That the other ones, like the belts have changed, and it's been like, okay, well, this has been the unified, and this has been it's been split,
Right.
but this is the Pat Patterson's.
It's
the belt.
stayed this way. It's never been combined with anything else. It's never been split off into something else.
I think part of the idea also is that the heavyweight championship is for the biggest star, like the biggest draw, but the Intercontinental has always been where the best wrestlers are. It's where the guys who can really go out there and tear the house down. And, this year, they got a pretty decent matchup here. Dean Ambrose versus a guy named Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin came up from NXT.
That the tattoo chest guy?
Yeah,
Okay.
about 2 years ago, and won the inaugural Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So they tried to put a big push behind him, and it's worked to the point that 2 years later, here he is in an IC match, and I really like the character. I did not like him in NXT. I found him super annoying, but here at SmackDown, his no-nonsense, I'm just going to get done what I got to get done, has really worked with me.
Yeah, it was funny because I actually didn't start watching NXT when it first came out. I went back and started rewatching first episodes and things I didn't see, and for the life of me, Tyson Kidd. I saw a match with Tyson Kidd. He's featured, and he's going up against this nobody named Baron Corbin, and you watch Baron Corbin just get schooled completely by Tyson Kidd, and now here we are at WrestleMania, and I agree with you. I like the character. It's very much. It's probably more like what Roman Reigns should be in a way. He's kind of a loner, badass kind of guy. That said, I'm probably a bigger mark for Dean Ambrose right now than anyone else in the WWE. I really just
Dean
want
Ambrose fan, sure.
I really want to see Ambrose hold this title, and I actually think he will.
Sure. Another guy we used to watch at PWG is John Moxley. So it's crazy watching all these guys come up here. The rest of the card down is just full of these guys we used to get to watch.
Well, I'm sorry, real quick. Have you ever played WWE Champions, the game? It's
I haven't. Well, I've seen the commercials for it. It's amazing that.
But they integrate some really old stuff. Dean Ambrose is one of his finishing maneuvers is the Mox Cutter, and they don't explain it at all whatsoever. Wow. So it's they go old school on some of these things without you kind of realizing they're doing it.
Sure, WWE's the acceptance of a real life existence before the development of the character has really changed in the last couple of years. So that's really nice. So this whole idea of there's a lot of wrestlers I would love to see on this card who are not here, like Shinsuke Nakamura, and guys who the next night will get to come up on Raw and look like big stars. But many years ago, they would make you change your name before you come up and erase everything from your past. But now Samoa Joe and just so many of these guys are getting to hold on to their rights.
These guys came to figure out that hey, I have a value to my name.
I don't think no. For many years, they didn't want it. The WWE, Triple H in particular, said, okay, look, it's worth taking these guys to let them hold on to their names and
right.
So these guys wanted to hold on to the names for years and years, but the WWE would make them change it because they wanted the money from if this character catches on, it has to be theirs.
Right. Yeah. No, I get that, but I think there are certain wrestlers who can slip around that. I think they've created a brand of their own for long enough that the legal battle would not be worth it, but you want that pop for having that guy wrestle.
Samoa Joe, AJ Styles.
AJ Styles is a big one.
AJ Styles, absolutely. Yeah. Change my name? I don't think so.
All right.
Sure. Incredible. Okay, let's go to the next one. We have a three-way tag team match working our way across there. This is going to be Enzo and Cass, who drive me fucking crazy. I hate Enzo so much. I hate him coming out there.
Is he with the long hair?
Oh, yeah, with the bushy,
the blonde hair in the second.
Yes.
Who's the first guy then? I'm sorry.
That's his name is Big Cass.
So
and he's 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that.
He's actually 6'8", but... Adding 4 inches, you can't teach that.
Sure, you can teach that. Vince does it all the time. Okay, so the guys on the other side, that's Antonio Cesaro and Sheamus. Cesaro is another guy that we used to watch wrestle here in PWG when his name was Claudio Castagnoli. Yep. And then in the middle here's our champions. This is Luke Gallows and Carl Machine Gun Anderson. I add the Machine Gun in there because that's what his name was when he wrestled in PWG. So
the bullet. I mean the club.
Sure,
just the club.
Now there is some speculation that we may get to see the formation of them on Sunday's show. Maybe bringing Finn Balor and have him be the thing that makes the difference in a 6-man ladder match. It should be exciting enough. but you bring him in there also, like that would blow the roof off the place because the fans are they know him well enough, they're excited enough to be super happy to have him back, and I think that'd be great. Okay, so we have to go to our last break, and I can't believe we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more matches to cover. So I don't think we're going to do any of our holiday nonsense or any of that stuff. So watch this commercial break really, 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 really fast. Like just speed it up, guys. God, why aren't you fast forwarding yet?
Fast forward button on life, please.
You've been left on your own like a rainbow in the dark. A rainbow in the dark. Do your demons, do they ever let you go? When you try, do they hide deep inside? Is it someone that you know?
I cannot put my finger on it now. The child is grown, the dream is gone. I have become comfortably numb.
Two, one. You guys are really funny. Really funny.
So last time we went to the commercial break, you left the cameras on, you couldn't hear anything. So this time I decided to pretend the mics were off. How you doing? We're back here on Grand Theft Audio. This is Jake Belcher.
I'm Brant Thoman.
Scott Gerhardt.
And we're going to try to wrap up this WrestleMania card. It's long, man. It's going to take them 6 hours to wrestle it. It's almost taking us 5 hours to get through it. Okay, and we didn't cover last time who we thought was going to win the Raw Tag Team titles, but I think it's going to be Gallows and Anderson.
I'm going to I don't dislike Enzo's cast as much as you do. I kind of would like to see them hold the belts, but no, not yet. No, I think
so. They're going to hold on to the title.
Yeah,
that's
I think
that's my guess.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Okay.
Next we have a non-sanctioned match. This is another old man versus young man match.
What the shit does that mean?
Old man versus young man?
No.
Oh,
non-sanctioned.
Oh, the picture went away somehow. But what it means, I probably saved it wrong. What it means is that Seth Rollins is injured and
he can't be medically cleared to do a real match.
Right.
The doctors of the WWE have said that he should not wrestle.
I think Jack Tunney had to come up from the grave and say, like, we don't recommend that you go through with this. It's going to be horse shit. And honestly, there's so many old men versus young men matches that this just makes me sad. Young man wins every time. That's what I'm saying. In this situation, Triple H is the old man, Seth Rollins is a young man. So Seth Rollins wins.
Is it me or does it look like he just has an enormous head in this photo? Triple H.
Well, that's just his nose.
It helped when he had the long hair also, because like that long hair kind of masked it. But you're right, man. He's got a big old noggin.
Big old noggin.
Large.
Who do you think is going to pick up the win here?
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, Triple H is a good performer. They're going to have a great match. I think just because
I would think so.
Triple H has always put on a good match.
Oh yeah, he's always.
He's a pro when it comes.
They're
to
both.
He's been my favorite for a long time. Even now, I continue to watch.
And Seth's just so unbelievably athletic. It's going to be a great match. I agree. I don't necessarily love the old versus new thing, but I think it's going to be a great match. I think Seth Rollins is.
I think he takes it. Another old man versus young man match. We have Roman Reigns, who's the last member we're talking about of the group called The Shield. Yep. All three of these guys are young wrestlers that are great. Versus old man Undertaker. Now you see that picture there.
Really old man
Hey,
Undertaker.
look, keep that up for a second. Okay?
I'll leave it there.
Now that Roman Reigns is a picture of him. That Undertaker, that's no goddamn picture.
No, that's off of a video game, isn't it?
That is a painting, or that is not a real person. That.
He's like he went playing in the dirt or something. And
No. I think that is a picture that was put in there because they don't want a picture of what he looks like right now.
Right, because he's like decrepit now, and he's old, and this is it, man. This is I'm making the prediction. This is the last Undertaker match. He's going out on his back. He's going to take the loss, and 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring.
It should be a coffin match. It should be a coffin match, and Roman Reigns wins, and the Undertaker is carted out in the coffin, done and done.
No, we never would have seen Mark Henry again then.
Sure.
So I disagree. I think the entire WWE universe will riot if Roman Reigns wins this one.
I think Vince wants that. I think he likes the fans mad.
There's mad. And then if they're going to have to somehow, in the course of a match, completely flip him into a heel. Like he's going to have to pick up a steel chair and waylay 25 times on the Undertaker to win.
I wish they would, but they're too lazy to do it. And honestly, here's what makes me think is going to happen. They've been running commercials now the last couple of weeks saying how bad the crowd is the night after Raw, and that's what you should tune
Bizarro.
in. That's right, man.
Or Montreal sometimes.
And they've been advertising it heavy the last couple of weeks that this is the night when the fans go crazy. So I think they're going to give him something to go crazy on. And I think it's going to be I think he's just going to teabag him in the middle of the ring.
There's crazy and then there's insanity.
Vince is insane.
I'm a Roman Reigns fan. If he wins, I riot.
I like him enough. I mean, he was obviously pushed a little bit too hard and a little bit too fast, but we're going to get over that. But in this situation, I think that he's just going to shove his 80-year-old balls in everyone's face and say, "Suck it, motherfuckers!" Undertaker's going down. Next match. We are at an odd one. So John Cena used to be the main event of WrestleMania for so long. I mean, just like he was the biggest match of the night, like versus The Rock or versus it was just so many different people.
I'd like to just put this in the bubble for a moment. John Cena and Maurice are in the same match. That's really all you have to look at.
Sad.
To realize this is not good.
And again, this is another person who this is going to be their last match. This is it for Nikki Bella. Like she needs to be done wrestling, and she's going to pick up the win here, man. Like John Cena's going to stand off in the corner while his girlfriend pins some chick in the middle of the ring, and we all have to pretend that's cool. Do you remember that whole thing about transgender equality and stuff like that? Like these goddamn things are related. You're talking about taking one of the best athletes and sports entertainers of all time and putting him into meaningless female fluff wrestling where you can't even. There's the athleticism of this match is going to be down the shit tube.
His contract is up when?
His contract will never be up.
But not until he's a 37-time world champion.
That's right. He'll never be done.
I thought he was wasn't Cena coming to the end of a contract?
They'll never let him go.
That's right. He'll have a
kind of like the Rock thing.
That's right. But he's trying to transition more into mainstream entertainment, and he's had some pretty good turns in some projects in the last few years. He was good in that Amy Schumer movie. Trainwreck.
Yeah, he was great.
He was really good in that, and he had a very small part in a Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell movie, Daddy's Home. I laughed my ass off. He's very funny. But this is sad to me. 100% Nikki Bella is done with wrestling, so she's going to pick up the win right here. That's what I say is going to happen. The Miz and Maurice have done some great work. This stuff they've been doing of these total Bella spoofs have been hilarious. Do you laugh at them?
It's so freaking over the top. It's not even funny. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't checked behind the scenes so much to know if Nikki's truly done, but I
That's
do
what
100%.
that's what I've heard.
I do 100% agree that it's going to be John and Nikki who
Sure,
win.
there's no way.
No way
It goes the other way. Another old man versus young man match, as we have the young man AJ Styles versus old man, not even a fucking wrestler. It's offensive to me that he's even in the situation. Shane McMahon. This guy is not a wrestler at all. He's somebody that gets put in gimmick matches. So last year he got to be in a cage match, or he gets to be in some giant ladder to jump off of, because he's not a fucking wrestler. He's just somebody that'll take a big stunt to make his daddy's dick hard. Like, that's all he's trying to do is prove to his dad that he's a man too.
Okay,
and that's
listen,
all,
you and I...
And that's all he trains for. Just
Yeah,
that
that's right.
one big
This one
move,
match.
that one big match, that one
This one
move,
move.
and that's it. That's it.
Okay.
I've watched it.
There's politics, and now we have this discussion. I completely disagree with you whatsoever. Like, totally. He's,
Sure.
Like, if you've seen some of the things he's done and, like, heard some of the stories about his training, I'm like, he's, like, yes, he's a McMahon, but he's always wanted to truly
He gets to come in one match a year.
Well, yes,
it doesn't matter if the next day if he can't go. Like he doesn't have to worry about being an actual wrestler. He just has to worry about being a crash test dummy that can take as big of a shot as possible and still get up. Like
no, he can go like a wrestler. He just
I don't know.
he just doesn't have to.
He's gonna have to on Sunday because AJ Styles is a real wrestler. He's gonna make Shane McMahon look like shit.
No, I disagree. This is gonna be a fan-fucking-tastic
If you
match.
know-
I think it's gonna steal the card.
If you know how wrestling goes, AJ Styles is going to be the bumpingest wrestler you've ever seen in your life. Now, bumpingest, what that means is like when somebody gives you a body slam, you really sell it. You take it hard. Oh my God, it's the worst thing ever. Because he's such a good wrestler that he's going to make Shane McMahon look like he can actually do it. But if you actually know wrestling and what you're watching, it's not Shane McMahon doing anything. It's going to be him laying off, knocked out on the side. Well,
Get back on the mic.
Sorry.
Who pushed him off the turnbuckle onto AJ?
In this situation,
I'm trying to remember who that was. I
Yeah.
think it was his feet.
Oh, you think he?
I think Shane actually jumped.
Sure, he
and
can,
did that.
Look, every once in a while he can do something.
Dude, he's like in his upper 40s. I respect the guy. I can't do that.
I'm saying that this is going to be sad, and AJ Styles should be in a much bigger, better match with somebody who doesn't have a match on the card, like a Samoa Joe or a Sami Zayn or a Shinsuke Nakamura, who's apparently debuting the next night.
I will completely agree with you on that one. That he should have a much higher profile match. He should be in like one of those title matches.
I didn't even care if it was a lower profile match with a real wrestler that he had a chance to actually have a wrestling match with. Like this, because Shane McMahon, not a wrestler. He's
a McMahon, yes, but I don't think that necessarily makes him
I don't care
not
that he
a wrestler.
grew up around the wrestlers.
Right.
Because you grew up around the circus doesn't mean you're a member. Especially when you're the ringmaster's son, you may be all around it, but you're not one of them.
The ringmaster.
It's very sad to me. It's very sad.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we get into.
I still say AJ does win.
I'm glad that we have a difference of opinion on a couple of these, and that it's not so clear cut to two huge wrestling fans that exactly how it's going to go. We see it different. That's always good because I'm always so sure that what I think is going to happen. Then it does. Okay, so we have the pre-show matches. They've added two title matches there. The SmackDown Women's Championship match, and this is a clusterfuck. We have Alexis Bliss, Mickie James, who's another old wrestler, Carmella, Natalya, Becky Lynch, and the now returning Naomi. The whole idea that this is in a Naomi's town. Naomi is
Orlando native,
an Orlando person, and they were going to want to kick off the show, I think, with like a local person having a big moment and getting her belt back. So I'm pretty sure that Naomi's going to win this.
Okay, now which one's Naomi?
No, Naomi.
The black one.
Yeah.
Wait. So, I want to see the women's names again, just a
Okay,
second.
as we work our way across, okay, Natalya.
Carmella. I'm sorry. I thought just because like skin tone, like that would be like
Carmel.
I don't actually see Carmella in that picture.
She's second from the right.
She is?
Yeah, she's between Alexa.
Oh wait, you're right.
You're
right.
Alexa and
Yep, you're right.
Which, by the way, every time she comes on, I have to take my Amazon Echo and hit on mute, or else it keeps talking. It keeps saying
really?
Alexa Bliss, Alexa this.
Hilarious.
I'm sorry, we can't play that song.
Hilarious. Okay, so yeah,
I want to
what's
see
this?
Mickie James win. I don't think she will. I'm a huge old school mark for
Me
Mickie
too, man.
James.
But you know the way that McMahon treated her with Piggy James, and that he has no respect for her. He's not bringing her in to win this match. Like
I don't think Naomi's going to win it either, though. The face doesn't win in their hometown in WrestleMania. It's not going to happen.
I think there's going to be so much booing through the rest of the night. Like, I think that these are going to be some very unpopular results. That
I don't think Naomi would be unpopular. I think
no. So that's why I think they want to have something positive at the beginning.
Oh,
so
I see
like,
what you're saying.
if they say Orlando's own Naomi, like, she's winning.
But that's the whole like the super face doesn't win the title in their own. I mean,
in the main event, sure. At this point, when you're kicking off the entire event and you're trying to get the crowd positive,
you've got to get the crowd
excited
behind the wrestlers. They want to see somebody who's local.
I think it goes to Naomi.
You know what? Even though it's on the pre-show, I have a feeling we're going to see a twist here. There's going to be somebody who's in this match because they've been very specific.
Is it
every eligible woman on the roster? It's going to be somebody who we're not even seeing in the match right now.
Okay, or somebody who you don't know has been signed.
Santino Marella comes back as Santina Marella.
You guys,
it'll be something just terrible because they don't have good plans.
All right,
okay,
let's
so
go.
at the beginning of this, we both kind of acknowledged or said that maybe the match we were looking forward to the most is on the pregame show, and that is going to be a barn burner in this situation.
Wow.
As this is Neville, another PWG wrestler we used to watch. His name was Pac then, and versus Austin Aries, another PWG wrestler that I actually got to see these guys wrestle each other before. So I know what this is going to be like. It's going to be dope.
It's going to be unfreaking. The fact that this is on the pre-show is just a shame.
I used to love going to the PWG show. Now all I need to do is just come over for WrestleMania, and it's just like watching a whole PWG show with look, special guest stars at the PWG show.
Sure, it drives my wife crazy because I was like, "Well, we saw him at PWG, saw him at PWG." Now she tries to preempt it, say, "I know, we used to see him at PWG." Okay, it's not that bad, but it's close.
Who wins this?
Man, I think Neville wins it. I think Neville wins.
I'm kind of in the I think camp as well, but I'm going to go the other side. I think Double A might pull off the win.
If he does, I'll be very happy. I mean, huge fan of him. So
I think that would play good going switching champion and challenger on that one for a little while and having Neville coming back after him. I think they could really do a lot with that line, but they need Austin. If they
can do that, okay, we put that picture one more time.
Sure.
If they can do that and have Neville shave off that ridiculous bad guy beard, like when he was a fresh faced guy that was chasing things around, I loved him. I kind of don't like this dirtbag.
Yeah, I know.
I am impressed with the facial hair of all of these wrestlers.
They all have. Everybody has facial hair in wrestling.
Like he needs to drop the English accent, which he can't really drop because it is his.
Sure.
If he's going to keep that beard,
That's him.
So let's just get rid of the beard.
Sure, it's dirty and it's gross looking, and I don't like it. Last match. So this is kind of the catch-all. Some of my very favorite wrestlers are in this match, and they should have matches on the card themselves. But you see, I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is the 13th match. This is a lot of matches, so not everybody gets to have one. So unfortunately, like more PWG boys like El Generico, the current Sami Zayn. There's a whole bunch of other guys who are in that situation. It makes me sad that they're in what is called the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal,
i.e. the WrestleMania catch-all.
Yeah, man, this is just everybody who they're trying to get a paycheck to for being here. I'm gonna list this off. Okay.
Well, all these guys, they make money off of going to these things and signing autographs and stuff like that?
Some of them do. I mean, they have an overall contract with the WWE where they have to appear at Access or they have to go out and do X amount of events. It's not like this is also a huge weekend for other people. So like the Hardy Boys, who it's very possible that they come in and they get involved in this Raw Tag Team Ladder match. I mean, it's possible. They're going to be having a big show on Saturday night with Ring of Honor, and so all these guys get to come in who are like the big indie guys, and then they get to go off and do WrestleCon and all these other things that are going on around it. They can make a lot of money, but I think the WWE guys are a little fucked in that area. Okay, I want to read through this list. Okay. And this is who's all been announced so far for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Is there a set number of people who...
No. So right
it's
now...
wide open.
At the end it says, and more TBA, to be announced. So even this isn't enough. But I want you to think to yourself, how many of these guys have an actual chance of winning this match? Okay.
Okay.
We have...
I'll give you the ding or the on them.
Sure. Mojo Rawley.
actually, I would put him as a dark horse.
Whoa!
But I would think there's actually a chance he could win. He wouldn't be my pick.
Uh-huh.
But I think it realistically could happen.
Wow, I'm shocked. So I'm going to give that a half a point.
Okay.
Okay. Apollo Crews. Come on.
Again?
Really think that little midget? You think that little midget is going to be able to like throw
Bobby Lashley 2.0?
I mean, he's buff as hell, but he's tiny. Like he's nothing.
I think I put him in the same camp. Could probably not.
Whoa, man, you have more faith than I do. The Big Show.
He's won it once before, but because he's won it once before, there's no chance in hell he'll win it again.
I agree with the disqualifying idea of him not getting it because he's done it before, but I'm going to put him down as one actual has a realistic chance of winning this. To me, he's the first point. That's actually
well, I mean, yes, if he hadn't won it before, you put this in a vacuum, absolutely.
Sure. Let's go through the rest of these. Kurt Hawkins.
No.
Gold Dust.
No.
R-Truth.
No.
Epico.
No.
Primo.
No.
Curtis Axel. No. There's no way.
90% no. I want him to. Damn it, Mr. Perfect Son.
Jinder Mahal.
No.
Bo Dallas.
God, no.
Fandango.
Even though his brother's in the
Fandango, you mean the ballroom dancer guy?
Yes.
Or the place where you buy movie tickets. I don't know. No.
How does it have Fandango and Kurt Hawkins? Because they're the same people.
Oh, because one's going to get eliminated and the other one's going to come running out.
Yeah, they're the same people. So that doesn't make any sense. Wait. Tyler Breeze.
Wait, hang on. I just had my mind blown.
Yeah, Kurt Hawkins and Fandango are the same people. So like that shouldn't they should both be on this list here, WWE.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Tyler Breeze.
I just had my mind blown here.
Sure. Tyler Breeze.
No.
Dolph Ziggler.
Yes.
Wow. He's so buried. Okay.
He is, but if they want to unbury him,
I don't think they're going to do it here.
I don't think they will, but he could. I think he's legit could.
Rhino.
Probably not.
Heath Slater.
No.
Jason Jordan.
Even though he's got kids to feed.
Jason Jordan.
No.
Hilarious. Chad Gable.
No.
Jey Uso.
Only because they have the belts. No.
Jimmy Uso.
No.
Mark Henry.
Yes.
Okay, Mark Henry may have a chance. I'm putting him down as my second has a chance of winning this.
Nobody actually has a chance. They're all going to throw each other out at the same time.
There's just no storyline reason for any of these other people to pick up this win here. Like Mark Henry.
There never is.
At least it's a nice career. Here's your big WrestleMania moment. That guy's been around forever.
Oh, and with it being the Andre the Giant, you would want one of your big wrestlers. It's like
Sin Cara. No. There's no fucking way. Titus O'Neil. There's no way. Connor.
Though I think they're wasting Titus a little bit.
No,
I think he's better than that.
This isn't the one where they come running in. That's a Royal Rumble.
This is everybody starts with the ring.
Everyone
at the
just
same
starts
time.
in there.
I hate those.
It is a little
I fucking
ridiculous.
hate those.
See, look, half the people have to stand around for the first 15 minutes not doing anything because
everyone's being enthralled.
It's ridiculous.
It sucks. Worst part.
Victor.
No.
Kalisto's the smallest guy on the roster.
He is the smallest guy, but they've done some things. I think they probably have him too buried right now.
It is the Andre the Giant award.
So
they want to give it to a little guy to sit there and go, "You're big in our book."
I can't convince myself that he has a
Rey
chance.
Mysterio 2.0.
Aiden English.
No.
Simon Gotch.
No.
And lastly, the guy who's gonna win it. This is to me, technically the third person who has a chance. His name is Braun Strowman. This entire thing has been set up for him to eliminate the most amount of people and to set some type of
WWE record.
That's right. So
did we even mention Sami Zayn?
His name's not on here, so maybe they meant to put his name instead of Kurt Hawkins. But yeah, Sami Zayn is in it, and
I'm still blown away by the whole Kurt Hawkins thing. Somebody's gonna write me and laugh at me.
Sure.
For not knowing that, but
sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sami Zayn,
he has no chance. Hey, look, if it comes down to him and Braun Strowman, like at the very end, the two of them against each other, I'll say he has a chance. Just because of the storyline they've put in where he's been beaten up so badly by him. But other than that, man, I think there's no way anybody here really wins this except for Strowman. Strowman is my 99%. Big Show is my 98%. And Henry is my 97%.
Wait.
I think
percent chance of winning. Like, if I had to say, like, you know, from
I think that might
top
have added
chances,
to 294, but
they're probably gonna do the match 3 times.
Maybe. It's possible. And in one of those alternate universes, Kalisto gets to win.
Sure, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to think Braun Strowman's going to win, so something might happen to him at the end. I think he'll either win or he'll go out. He'll be the last one to go out.
Sure, that'd be interesting. But up and down, which one match are you looking forward to the most?
You know what? Believe it or not, probably Shane. As much as we argue with it, Shane versus AJ, I think is it. But I will agree with you. Even though we have a difference of opinion on Shane, we don't on AJ. AJ is just unbelievable.
He'll be the best.
He'll make anyone look good, and he could have that match against anyone. And I'd probably think that the match with AJ is probably going to be the best one.
I can see looking forward to it the most.
Jericho Owens too.
For me, that's the match. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. I'm most interested to see, are they really going to give Owens that big win at WrestleMania, and how it's all going to come together. Okay, so we had an extra long episode this week. I appreciate Brant for putting in some yeoman's work by being longer than you should be behind that board at one time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Scott, where can people learn more about you and your various ventures?
My various ventures. Probably easiest way is going to be on Twitter at the Gamers Dome, which is what we primarily do. But check out themaskeddome.com. We started it, we kind of stopped it, and we're relaunching it again. It's you're not going to, because there's plenty of places to go for news.
Sure, editorials is what I want to read anyways. I can find news anywhere.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for coming in.
Absolutely, pleasure as always.
As this comes together, you're very close. I'm going to invite you back in, man.
Absolutely.
So
anytime.
Brant, thank you so very much, as I said earlier.
You're welcome.
Does any of these matches sound the most interesting from a more outsider perspective?
I'm always a fan of Triple H matches, so I would watch that one.
Yeah, I think actually really
and of course, Steen.
Yeah,
Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen. That's what I know. That's
Mr. Wrestling. I mean, when you get to see someone as close as we used to in PWG, and they're so superbly talented,
an all-around nice guy.
Yes, super cool dude. Hang out and talk forever after the show, and it's great to get to watch someone really catch their dreams and make it on to the highest level.
Indeed,
really neat.
He deserves anything he gets. He's positive. He deserves.
Sure,
absolutely.
So that wraps us up here for another week on Grand Theft Audio. As always, we appreciate you tuning in, whether it's through live stream or Zinna or Facebook or wherever you did this. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Next week, we do have in comedian Michael Gelbart. That'll be a lot of fun. He's got a whole bunch of things going on, and he knows better about wrestling too. So maybe I'll have someone to argue about the results.
A recap on the yeah. There we go. Sounds good.
Sure, that'll be fun, guys. So as always, Jake Belcher saying thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you guys later, and bye.